Most of these bands were not one-hit wonders because they only made one good song. No. They were one-hit wonders because one song became so huge, so weird, or so unforgettable that it swallowed the rest of their catalog whole. So today, we're counting down 10 of the best 90s metal one-hit wonders. Before the comment section turns into a burning tire fire, quick warning. We're using one-hit wonder in the classic rock fan sense, meaning one signature song that most casual listeners remember immediately. Some of these bands had loyal fan bases, some had other great songs, some are still active, and some absolutely deserved way more attention. So if your favorite got robbed, don't throw a shoe at the screen. Throw it in the comments. Let's get into it. Number 10. Scatterbrain, Don't Call Me Dude. Scatterbrain were what happened when thrash metal discovered comedy and nobody stopped it. Don't Call Me Dude was loud, goofy, weirdly catchy, and extremely 1990. It had funk metal bounce, thrash attitude, and the energy of 5 guys who had definitely annoyed a sound engineer that day. At a time when heavy music was splitting into all kinds of strange new directions, Scatterbrain came in with a song that felt like a prank call with a riff budget. Hey, dude, don't tell me, dude. It was silly, but not weak. The musicianship was there, the energy was there, the attitude was there. It just happened to be wrapped in a joke about being called dude, which is possibly the most 1990 thing ever put on tape. For a moment, it worked. The video got attention, the song became their calling card, and Scatterbrain felt like they might become the kings of ridiculous heavy music. Number 9, Love Hate. Why do you think they call it dope? Love Hate arrived in 1990 with one foot in glam metal and the other foot in a much dirtier alley. Why do you think they call it dope? Had sleaze, groove, attitude, and just enough danger to feel different from the shinier hair metal bands that were already starting to look outdated. The song became their MTV calling card, especially for viewers who lived inside Headbangers Ball and thought sleep was for people with boring cassette collections. But Love Hate had horrible timing. They showed up right as the entire rock world was about to change. Glam metal was about to get shoved off the main stage by grunge, alternative rock, and darker 90s sounds that made party metal suddenly feel like yesterday's cigarette smoke. Number 8, Drain, I Don't Mind. Drain were one of those bands that made people say, wait, how did this not become bigger? They were an all-female heavy rock band from Sweden, and I Don't Mind had that perfect 90s mix of heavy guitars, moody vocals, and Alice in Chains-style darkness. The band had the look, the heaviness, the atmosphere, and the songs. They were not some gimmick act. They could actually play, and they had the kind of brooding, metallic sound that should have fit perfectly into the late 90s hard rock scene. But timing is cruel. By the late 90s, rock radio was shifting again. Nu metal was getting louder, post-grunge was taking over, industrial sounds were everywhere. And Drain STH never got the mainstream push that could have turned them into a much bigger name. They were heavy enough for metal fans, melodic enough for radio, and cool enough for MTV. Number 7, Steelheart, I'll Never Let You Go. Steelheart had one of the most dramatic 90s metal ballads ever. I'll Never Let You Go is the kind of song built around a voice that sounds almost unreal. Huge, dramatic, and always one note away from breaking through the ceiling. Released during the final stretch of glam metal's mainstream power, the song gave Steelheart their big USC moment. It had the giant chorus, the emotional guitar solo, the heartbreak, the hair, the wind machine energy, everything. Vocalist Miljenko Matievich had the kind of voice that made the song feel almost impossible, huge, controlled, and built for the kind of notes most singers would not even attempt. But then the band faced something serious. In 1992, Matejevich suffered a major stage accident that badly disrupted the band's momentum. Steelheart eventually returned in different forms, and Matejevich remained respected for that unreal voice. The band also found continued appreciation overseas, especially among fans who never abandoned melodic hard rock and metal ballads. Number 6. Prong, Snap Your Fingers, Snap Your Neck. Prong were never built like a pop band. They came from the New York underground with a sound that mixed thrash, hardcore, groove metal, and industrial muscle. Then, Snap Your Fingers, Snap Your Neck happened. That riff was pure menace. It was one of those songs that did not ask for your attention. It grabbed your shirt and took it. For casual listeners, this became Prong's defining moment. But among heavy music fans, Prong were much more than one song. They were one of those bands whose influence got bigger than their fame. Their mixture of groove, industrial bite, and hardcore attitude helped shape a lot of heavy music that came after them. Number 5. Snot, Stoopid. Snot were not a band built for polish. They sounded like a backyard fight, a punk show, a funk metal jam, and a nu metal breakdown all happening at the same time. Stoopid is loose, aggressive, funny, groovy, and completely unfiltered. Snot came out of Santa Barbara, California, and released their debut album Get Some in 1997. In 1998, Lynn Straight died in a car accident along with his dog Dobbs, who had appeared on the cover of Get Some. The band disbanded after his death, and that turned Get Some into both a debut album and a final statement. Number 4. Kittie, Brackish. Kittie did not arrive quietly. They sounded like they kicked the door open, screamed directly into the room, and made everyone stop pretending nu metal was only a boys' club. Brackish hit hard because it felt raw, not polished, not safe, not built like a clean radio single. It had that late 90s nu metal bounce, but there was something sharper underneath it. The guitars were ugly in the right way. The vocals moved from quiet tension to full rage. And the whole song felt like someone finally saying the thing they had been holding in for way too long. Their debut album, Spit, came out at the end of 1999 and reached a much bigger audience in 2000, helped by heavy touring, MTV attention, and a growing nu metal scene that was suddenly everywhere. For a lot of casual fans, Brackish became the Kittie song. But the band's story is bigger than one track. They kept making heavier music, changed lineups, moved further away from the nu metal tag, and built a loyal fan base that stuck with them long after the first wave of hype faded. They also dealt with the kind of criticism that male bands in the same scene often did not get. People treated their age and gender like a gimmick when the music was already heavy enough to speak for itself. Number 3, Helmet, Unsung. Helmet were not trying to be glamorous. They looked like guys who would help you move a couch, then write a mathematically violent riff about it. Unsung is one of the most important alternative metal songs of the 90s because it did not sound like the old metal world. It was heavy, but not in the traditional way. It was controlled, precise, almost cold, and that made it feel even heavier. For a lot of casual fans, Unsung is Helmet. But among musicians, Helmet were much bigger than one song. Their sound influenced a ridiculous number of bands, especially in alternative metal, post-hardcore, and nu metal. you can hear that tight, choppy riff style echoing through a lot of heavier music that came later. Number 2, Rollins' band Liar.
So you think you're gonna live your life alone, in darkness?
Liar arrived in 1994, and suddenly Henry Rollins was everywhere.
Desperate, and in need of human contact.
The song is strange because it almost works like a comedy bit that turns into a metal breakdown. The verses are smooth and creepy. Rollins sounds calm, almost charming, like a guy who definitely should not be allowed near your emotional well-being. Then the chorus hits, and the whole thing punches through the wall. That contrast made Liar unforgettable. It was not just a song, it was a performance. And the video made Rollins look like the final boss of emotional confrontation. For a brief moment, this underground punk and alternative metal force had a mainstream MTV song. And it was not a clean, radio-friendly song either. You know why? It was weird, intense, funny, heavy, uncomfortable. Basically, it was Henry Rollins in song form. Number 1, Saigon Kick, Love Is On The Way. At number 1, we have one of the strangest one-hit wonder stories in 90s heavy music, because Love Is On The Way barely sounds like the band that made it. Saigon Kick were heavier, stranger, and more adventurous than this song suggests, but their one massive mainstream hit, a gorgeous acoustic power ballad. Love Is On The Way became Saigon Kick's big mainstream moment, and to be fair, it is a beautiful song. The harmonies are huge, the melody works. The chorus is emotional without feeling cheap. The whole thing sounds like 1992 slow dancing in a denim jacket. But here's the problem. When a ballad becomes that much bigger than the band, it can distort the entire story. A lot of casual listeners heard Love Is On The Way and assumed Saigon Kick were just another soft, romantic hard rock band. They were not. They had more edge, more weirdness, and more musical personality than that. So those are 10 of the best 90s metal one-hit wonders, or at least 10 bands whose biggest songs became bigger than the bands themselves. Which band deserved more than one hit? Which song should have been included?